Hey, fellow word nerds. You're ready to unlock some English grammar secrets.
Yeah.
We're going deep today into sentences and tenses and all those little things that make language tick.
Right.
And it's not about, memorizing dusty rules from a textbook.
Yeah.
It's about wielding those rules like a pro.
And you know what's amazing is that grammar often gets this bad rap
Yeah.
for being so boring and confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the key to unlocking the full expressive power of English.
Absolutely. We're diving into this awesome guide from English Voice Club today.
Yeah.
They just make grammar feel approachable and fun.
They really do. And, one of the first things they emphasize is understanding
Yeah.
how our brains actually learn grammar best.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's unpack that.
Think about it this way. Would you go to a doctor who prescribes the same medicine
Right?
for every patient?
Of course not.
No way. Learning grammar is kind of similar.
Yeah.
One size fits all just doesn't work.
So we're ditching the generic drills and getting personalized. Okay, I like where this is going.
The first step is figuring out what your weaknesses actually are in grammar.
Okay.
What are those rules that trip you up over and over?
That makes sense, but how do we actually figure out those weak spots?
Right.
Because sometimes it's like those mistakes are so ingrained we don't even realize we're making them.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
Which is why English Voice Club suggests a few strategies.
Okay.
First, take a look at feedback you've gotten from teachers or language partners.
Right.
They often spot those patterns before we do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need a fresh pair of eyes to see those things.
Exactly. Another tip is to take some quizzes or do exercises that are really focused
No.
on specific grammar points that can help you zero in on those areas
Mm-hmm.
where you need the extra practice.
And I remember them saying something about analyzing our own writing,
Yes.
like rewriting a text, and seeing where our grammar goes astray.
That's a fantastic way to become your own grammar detective.
Yeah.
By comparing your version to the original, you can see where those gremlins are hiding.
I love that it's like a scavenger hunt for grammar mistakes.
Yes.
Okay, so step one, self-awareness, getting real with ourselves about those grammar strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely. Taking control of that learning process.
Okay, so we've got a handle on our weak spots.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there?
Well, English Voice Club then dives into this really important distinction
Okay.
between form and function in grammar.
Ooh, intrigued. Tell me more.
It's actually quite simple. Form is about the mechanics of grammar.
Okay.
Things like word order, subject-verb agreement, how we conjugate verbs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the blueprint to building a good sentence.
Okay, I think I'm getting that. But what about function? That sounds a little more complex.
It is a bit deeper,
Okay.
but equally important functions about understanding why we use
Right.
certain grammatical structures and what purpose they serve when we communicate.
Okay.
It's like understanding, the different tools in a toolbox.
Yeah.
Knowing when to use each one.
So it's not enough to just know the rules we have to understand how to actually use them
Exactly.
in real life situations.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
The present perfect tense.
Okay.
We often know the form, right? Using have or has with the past participle.
Right.
But the function can be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
It's about expressing an action that started in the past
Uh-huh.
and continues into the present or have a present result.
So memorizing that conjugation isn't enough.
Right.
We need to actually grasp the meaning behind it.
That's-
Otherwise, we end up saying things like, I have been living here since 4 years instead of I have lived here for 4 years.
Perfect example.
Ouch.
The form is almost there,
Yeah.
but the function's slightly off.
Right.
And what's really fascinating
Right.
is that a lot of these issues of the function come from the differences
Uh-huh.
between English and our native languages.
That's so true. I never thought about it that way. But it
Yeah.
makes total sense.
It's like our brains are wired for our first language.
Right.
So when we learn a new one, those old patterns can get in the way.
So how do we overcome those ingrained habits?
Well, English Voice Club has a really cool suggestion.
Okay.
They say, whenever you're struggling with a specific function in English,
Mm-hmm.
try thinking about how you would express that same thought in your native language.
That's such a good idea.
It's like holding up two mirrors
Yeah.
and seeing the differences between those languages.
Yeah.
It can be a real aha moment.
I can't wait to try that.
No.
Okay, so we've talked about identifying those weak spots.
Yeah.
And then really understanding the why behind the grammar rules.
Right.
What's next in our journey towards grammar mastery?
Well, this is where English Voice Club introduces a technique I think you're going to love.
Okay.
It's called templating.
Templating. Okay.
Huh.
You've officially piqued my curiosity. Spill beans.
Right.
So we figured out our weak spots, and we're even starting to see how comparing English to our native language can really help.
It's like we're linguistic detectives
Yeah.
uncovering these patterns.
I love that, but now I'm really curious about this templating technique.
Right.
Sounds like a game changer.
It is. It's all about taking these kind of abstract grammar rules
Yeah.
and turning them into something concrete that we can use.
Okay, I like concrete. Give me the lowdown.
All right. So imagine that you're struggling with the past perfect tense.
Okay.
The basic form.
Had plus past participle.
Yeah, but maybe you're not quite sure how to use it in a sentence.
Oh, yeah, I've been there sometimes. Those hads are just kind of floating around in my head.
I know, exactly. So
Yeah.
with templating, you create a sentence frame or like a template, and you can be like, by the time subject past participle, subject had already past participle.
I see where you're going with this, so I could say something like, by the time I arrived at the party, everyone had already eaten all the pizza.
There you go.
Boom.
You just created a personalized example
Yeah.
that shows the past perfect in action.
Awesome.
And you can create tons of different templates for the same rule,
Oh, that's cool.
each one with little variations.
So I could also say, by the time the movie started, I had already finished my popcorn.
Exactly.
By the time we reached the summit, the sun had already set.
There you go. See, and the more you do this, the more you internalize that rule.
Right, it's like building a grammar muscle by doing reps.
Exactly.
I'm on board with this templating thing, but how do we make sure these awesome templates don't just, fade from memory?
That is where those awesome flashcard apps come in.
Ah, yes. Quizlet, Anki, my digital study buddies.
Exactly. They're going to get a workout.
They are.
And English Voice Club has some great tips for how to use flashcards,
Okay.
specifically for grammar practice.
Okay. Spill the secrets. I'm ready to level up my flashcard game.
All right. They suggest creating two main types of cards, gapped sentence cards
Okay.
and error correction cards.
Okay, let's break those down. Gap sentences sound pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
We just take our templated sentences and leave out a few key words.
Exactly. So you can take your past perfect example. By the time I arrived at the party, everyone had already eaten all the pizza.
Right.
And just leave out some words. By the time at the party, everyone already ate all the pizza.
And then I have to mentally fill in those blanks.
You got it.
With arrived had eaten.
Exactly. It's like a mini quiz.
I love it.
Right, on a card.
But what about those error correction cards?
Those are awesome for those persistent errors that keep popping up.
You mean like those sneaky errors that make me feel like I'm back in like elementary school?
Yes, we all have them.
I have a few.
With error correction cards, you would write a sentence with a common mistake, and on the back, you'd have the corrected version.
Okay, so let's say I always mix up lay and lie.
Okay.
I could have a card that says I need to lay down for a bit.
Perfect. And then on the back,
Yeah.
the correct sentence, I need to lie down for a bit.
Okay.
Seeing that over and over helps you catch it.
It's like giving my inner grammar editor like a superpower.
Yep.
But creating all these personalized flashcards sounds a bit time-consuming. Is it really worth the effort?
It really is, because remember what we said about personalized learning?
Right.
This ensures that you are focusing on what you need to work on.
It's way more engaging than just going through some generic flashcards.
Exactly. And you know what's really cool here?
What?
Spaced repetition.
Oh, yeah, that sounded super high-tech and efficient.
It's a really simple concept.
Okay.
These apps are designed to show you cards at increasing intervals
Okay.
based on how well you remember them.
So if I'm struggling with a particular card, it's going to keep popping up
Exactly.
more frequently until I get it right.
It's like it can read your mind.
It's like having a personal grammar tutor.
Yes.
Who knows how my brain works?
And it's been shown to boost long-term retention.
So we're not just cramming for a test, we're building like actual knowledge.
Lasting knowledge.
Yeah, that's a huge win.
It is, and it all starts with those personalized flashcards.
Okay, I'm convinced flashcards, here I come. But I'm curious, what else does English Voice Club have to say about like the psychology of learning grammar?
Well, they talk about celebrating those small victories.
Ooh, I love that it's so easy to feel like we're not progressing fast enough.
Exactly. Every time you master a new grammar point,
Yeah.
or you ace a flashcard quiz, it's a reason to celebrate.
It's like giving yourself a little pat on the back.
Exactly. For all that hard work.
Yeah.
And those small wins fuel our motivation
Keep us going.
on that journey.
So it's all about finding that joy and celebrating those milestones.
Yes.
But speaking of the journey, where do we go from here? We've covered so much.
Well, let's recap those 4 steps
Okay.
that English Voice Club lays out.
Okay.
First, we need to figure out what our weaknesses are.
Right. No more vague feelings of I'm bad at grammar.
Exactly. We're getting specific.
Yeah.
Then we analyze those mistakes and see if it's form function or both.
Yeah, a good grammar book or teacher can be super helpful.
Absolutely. Once we get that, then it's time for templating.
Yes.
Creating those real-life examples.
At least 5 different sentences.
Yes.
And don't forget to double check for accuracy.
Yes, accuracy is key.
Yes.
And then step 4 is where we turn those into flashcards.
Right?
Gapped sentences error correction.
Yes, we are armed.
We are?
And then spaced repetition to make sure it sticks.
This is such an empowering way to look at grammar.
It is.
It's taking those abstract rules and bringing them to life.
Through examples and practice and review.
And recognizing that it's a journey.
Right.
Not a destination.
There will be bumps.
Yes. But with the right mindset and the right tools, we can get there.
Okay, so we've got the roadmap and the tools and the motivation. What else could we possibly need?
Well, there's one more ingredient that English Voice Club talks about.
Okay.
It's remembering the why behind all this.
Ooh, that sounds deep. Tell me more. So we've got our roadmap and our tools and our motivation. What's this deeper why that English Voice Club keeps mentioning?
It's like, we've been so focused on building this amazing house. It's like,
Right.
getting all the structural elements perfect.
Uh-huh.
But we haven't talked about, who gets to live there.
Right.
What stories are going to be told inside.
I love that analogy. So it's not just about mastering the technical skills.
Right.
It's about what we can do with them.
Exactly. English Voice Club reminds us that grammar, at its heart,
Yeah.
is about connection and communication.
Uh-huh.
Expressing ourselves authentically.
That suddenly makes grammar feel a lot less intimidating
It should.
and a lot more exciting.
Think about it when you feel confident in your grammar.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, stumbling over your words.
Right.
You can just focus on what you want to say.
Sharing our ideas and stories and perspectives.
Exactly.
So it's like grammar is this bridge that allows us to connect with other people.
Yes.
And build relationships and, share knowledge and even inspire change.
That's a message that's often lost
Yeah.
in those, textbooks and grammar drills.
Right.
Grammar's not just about rules.
Yeah.
It's about human connection.
Okay, I'm having a serious aha moment here.
Good.
It's like that shift in perspective makes all the difference.
It does.
Grammar's not the enemy, it's our ally. In this quest for meaningful communication.
The more we embrace that perspective, the more joy we're going to find in this whole process.
Right, because then it becomes less about achieving perfection and more about, just expressing ourselves.
Authenticity.
Yeah. And I love how English Voice Club kind of leaves us with this invitation to see grammar as this gateway to possibilities.
They're saying, hey, you got the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
Go explore.
Go out there and share your voice, connect with people.
Exactly. And you don't have to do it alone.
Right.
There's this whole community of other learners out there.
All on this journey together.
Supporting each other.
It's like we're all part of this tapestry of voices.
I love that.
Each thread, unique and essential. And grammar is the tool that allows us to weave it all together.
Yes.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive, what's the one message you hope our listeners take away?
I want them to remember that anyone can master English grammar.
Yes.
It's not about being naturally gifted or having some special gene.
Yeah.
It's about understanding those principles.
Right.
Finding techniques that work for you.
Right.
And committing to that journey.
Yes.
Knowing that each step gets you closer to expressing yourself with clarity and confidence.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about embracing the challenge, believing in yourself, and finding the joy in this process.
Who knows what could happen when we unlock the power of our voice?
And share it with the world.
Exactly. So go out there, embrace that challenge, and enjoy this journey of mastering grammar.
And hey, we would love to hear about your grammar adventures.
Yeah.
Share your triumphs and your struggles and your aha moments with us.
Let's keep this conversation going.
Let's inspire each other.
Until next time.
Happy grammaring.